Arsenal versus Manchester United is tomorrow. And Arsenal fans, I know we usually struggle at Old Trafford, but I'm here to tell you this time will definitely be different. After me looking into what I need to look into and doing a bit of a tactical breakdown, I'm here to tell you there is good news. Look, there are some things we need to think about, to speak about. There's some decisions that Mikel Arteta definitely has to get right. But I'm going to show you some things in this video that might just leave you feeling way more confident. Before we get into it though, do me a quick favour. If you could, please just hit like on this video. And I'm approaching 7,000 subscribers. I'm only 6 subscribers away. So if you could do me the favour, and if you haven't subscribed already, just help me out to get there by hitting the subscribe button. Right, this is a massive game. Look, United are struggling. Arsenal need to carry on the momentum we saw against PSV. So that's why I want to ask you before I get into the video, what is your score prediction? And everyone knows what I do. If you're able to get the score prediction correct, in the breakdown video after the game, I will flash you up on screen just so you can show everyone how good your football knowledge is. Look, United are struggling. The thing that makes me even more confident going into this game is the fact that they've just struggled to scrape a 1-1 draw against Real Sociedad. And that will be the tournament that they will prioritise. Like, they're basically out of the Premier League. They can't do anything in the Premier League. The only chance they've got to salvage anything from this season is to do something in the Europa League. Like I said, they drew 1-1, so they got to play Sociedad again next week. So they ain't going to play a full-strength team against Arsenal, because if they do, and we slap them at Old Trafford 3 or 4-0, they've then got to put that same team out against Sociedad and hope the players all of a sudden turn into something different and they can rescue a win against Sociedad. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, you see Man United fans calling for them to play the kids, and I think it might be a rotated squad. And that's even with the squad having massive injuries. Like, the way Ruben Amorim likes to play, like, if you see his squad that he played against Sociedad, it is terrible. Look, I'm going to flash it up on screen now so you can see what I'm talking about. But just look at that midfield. The thing I don't like if I was a Man United fan is just the 2 in midfield. Like, you've got Casemiro and Bruno in there, who are not great central midfielders as of now. Like, they lack legs massively. They obviously play the back 3, which, terrible. They play basically a back 5 with 2 central midfielders. I think with Partey, Rice and Odegaard in there, we're just going to overpower them. Like, you want as many players in that midfield as possible. That's where the majority of the play will go through, central midfield. And the fact that they've only got 2 in there, if I was a United fan, that would scare me, especially with the players that Arsenal have, the way that Odegaard can operate in those tight spaces. And it looks like he's going to get quite a lot of room in there. We know Thomas Partey, when he picks up the ball from deep, he's going to be able to find those cutting through balls because they've only got 2 men in midfield. So it'll be interesting to see how that midfield plays out. I look at the squad and I don't see where the goals are going to come from for United. You look at that, you've got Højlund, Xerxes and Garnacho. Now, me personally, I think Garnacho's a pretty decent player, but Højlund and Xerxes, I think they're terrible. I don't think they're great players. So I don't know how they're going to score against Saliba and Gabriel. Now, look, I'm sounding very confident. I understand that. But, like, I'm so confident in our defence. Even if it seems like scrap the last game, previous games we've been struggling to score. Like, I don't see where United are going to cause us any problems. And now the fact that we know that we can score goals, I just think it could be a bloodbath at Old Trafford. Like, the thing that I like is Onana is terrible at claiming crosses. And in terms of aerial dominance up front, Arsenal usually aren't that strong. But I think the fact that we're playing Merino in there, who we know he's aerially dominant. He's got all the stats last season, and this season he's been very good in winning those headers. So you would imagine he would have some success. So I wouldn't be surprised in this game if Arsenal actually whip a few balls into the box in hopes that Merino can get his head on it. Because like I said, Man United fans, even, you see him calling out how bad Onana is at coming out and claiming them crosses. So don't be surprised if we see Nwaneri or Trossard whipping some balls in the hopes that Mikel Merino will get on the end of some of them. United have got injuries as well, which I've spoke about. That's why they're having to field this weakened squad. I just hope Arsenal continue the trend of getting forward. We heard Mikel Arteta come out after the PSV game and said it's something I've told the players, like, they just have to get forward. if we're going to score goals, everyone has to chip in. We can't just rely on one player to get a majority of the goals. Like, it needs to be a team effort. And we saw that in the last game. Odegaard got a couple. Other people as well. Like, everyone was chipping in. You had Calafiori scoring, Merino scoring. And that is something we're going to have until we get a recognised number 9, or maybe until we get Saka back or Martinelli back. The goals are going to have to be shared. And there were points in that PSV game where you saw, like, most of Arsenal's attack, you would have 6, 7 players crash in the box, like just being in a position where if the ball does break to them, they're going to be able to score. So I want to see more of that. And that leaves us on to the team selection. And this is where I think Arteta has got some very difficult decisions to make, because I'll start it. We'll start going through the team. So David Raya, I would go... Look, I can't wait to have Ben White back. Is he going to start him in this game? I mean, he could. Some people might say, well, it's Man United. You can't really start him against Man United. And I think, 14th place, terrible players. I think it's a perfect chance to start Ben White. So for me, personally, I go for Ben White just because I can't wait to get him back into the team. I like Timber, but my preference at right back is always Ben White. So I play him in this game. Saliba, Gabriel, and the first massive decision that Arteta has to make is what does he do at left back. We saw Miles Lewis-Skelly, who I think is a brilliant player. He got pulled off after, 33 minutes in the last game because he was on a yellow card and he probably should have been sent off. Arteta come out after and he said, oh, look, I've had to pull him aside today and have a bit of a conversation with him. Will that put him in a position where he feels like he has to pull him to maybe get the media off him? I think that might be punishing him a bit too much, if I'm being honest. I think it's poor timing to come out and say in the media, look, I've pulled him to the side and had a chat with him, and then you drop him from the squad as well. I think that's going to shine too much of a light on Lewis-Skelly, who I think's doing so well. He is rash at times, but he's very passionate. So I don't mind having that rashness in a player because, look, he will have to grow out of it at some point. But don't try and train it out of him too early. Don't try and strip the passion and the hunger that Miles Lewis-Skelly has, because that's what makes him great. He's not scared to get in players' faces. He's not scared to have a bit of a pull and a push and to taunt world-class players like Haaland and sit on the sideline, do his celebration. Those attributes are what make him such an amazing player. So for me, I actually keep him in this game. Now, I understand people would want to play Calafiori, and if he does start, I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to it because, look, he is good. He's almost like he's an attacking substitute. That's what I like. He's a left back, but when you're bringing him on, it's essentially an attacking substitute because he is just flying forward constantly. Like the goal he scored against PSV, like he was running to the right centre channel in behind the central defender. Like, he was more right wing than he was left back, and that's what I like about Calafiori. He's got something about him that just says, I'm going to go. Like, he's just being wound up and he's just waiting for the trigger to just go. And I like that with Calafiori. Look, defensively, he's got his problems. Of course, he has. Miles Lewis-Skelly is definitely more comfortable defensively. But going forward, if you need that attacking option, Calafiori is definitely your man. So let me know who you guys would go for at left back. For me, I stick with Lewis-Skelly just because I wouldn't want to punish him too much for what he done against PSV. But if you would go Calafiori as well, let me know. Midfield, Partey, Rice and Odegaard. I'm actually seeing a lot of people suggesting that Jorginho should come back in for this game. If you're one of them people, let me know if you would do that and why. Do you like the way that just Jorginho dictates the tempo of the game, and with Man United only having 2 midfielders, do you think that could work to Arsenal's advantage? Because I hear that argument. But for me, I go Partey, Rice and Odegaard, Nwaneri, Trossard and then Mikel Merino. Basically, I go unchanged team to what it was against PSV. Some people would probably make a couple of changes. There will come a point where you're going to have to start resting some players. But we've got PSV midweek in a game that basically is already won. They would have to beat us 6-0 or whatever it is to even progress to the next round. So if you want a time to rest, that would be your opportunity to rest some players. So for me, I'll go full strength against Man United. And for me, I think that's our strongest team right now. Like I said, I would go Lewis-Skelly left back and Ben White right back. Let me know if you guys agree or not. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, do me a quick favour. Just hit like and subscribe, and make sure you let me know your score prediction in the comment section. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.